Alrighty, mathematicians, we are back and we are talking about absolute value today, all right? How to solve absolute value equations. Now, the big thing to note is where the x is located, right? The x is located inside of the absolute value bars on all of these, right? That is the big thing, right? X is inside of the absolute value bars. So, here's what we're going to think, all right? We need to undo the absolute value bars. And in order to undo something, you need to know what it does in the first place, right? So what absolute values do is they make things positive, right? Always. If it's positive, makes it positive. If it's negative, makes it positive, right? It doesn't switch to the opposite, right? It just always makes it positive. So here's how we're going to do it. It's a very, very easy thing, all right? And I have a trick, all right? So see how there's two absolute value bars? What I like to do is I like to branch it into two separate equations. Now, you keep whatever's in the absolute value bars exactly the same. So you're going to say x equals and x equals. Now, again, you are undoing these absolute value bars, so this always is going to be positive. So x could have been positive, or x could have been negative. And that's it, right? So that's your two answers for this first one, right? We got x equals 17, or we have x equals negative 17. And always test your answers, right? You can always do that, right? So the absolute value of 17, if you plugged in 17, would give you 17. The absolute value of negative 17 would give you 17, right? So it works. We know that it works. It's good, okay? So now we're going to work on this problem right here. Now notice, again, exact same thing. It's an absolute value. X is inside. We're going to split it up into two problems, right? Two bars, split into two problems. Keep whatever's inside, right? The exact same. So we have 3x plus 1. Now, it could have equaled positive 4, right? Because absolute value makes everything positive, so it could have been positive. Or we could say that 3x plus 1 could have been negative 4, right? And you solve for both of these. Now, notice, once you split it up, right, the absolute value bars are gone. Just letting you know. That's like that step, right? It splits it into two. So we could solve both of these now. We can minus 3, right? So we have 3x equals, well, that would be 1 divided by 3 divided by 3. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? Sorry, guys. Getting ahead of myself. We can minus 1. That's way better. Okay, now if we minus 1, now we have 3x equals 3. Divide by 3, divide by 3. And we'll get our answer of x equals 1. All right, that's the easy one. Normally speaking, absolute value bars have one nice answer like that. That is a nice answer. Okay, now you're going to see exactly what happens with those other one. We're going to minus 1. And notice this one is probably going to make it either more negative or more positive, whatever it is, right? And so those cancel, and we're going to get 3x equals negative 5, right? Now notice this is not divisible by 3, so you'll probably get a fraction, right? And so then our answer would be x equals negative 5 over 3. Again, usually speaking, absolute value bars, one nice answer, one fraction answer, and that is okay. All right, next we need to talk about with the absolute value bars is they need to be alone. All right, so we can't split it up right away because we have this minus 7 on the outside. Okay, we have to get this clump of math alone, and then we can split it. Okay, so start by undoing this minus 7. So you'd add 7. Okay, that cancels, and so then we have our absolute value, x plus 2 equals 17. Now we can go ahead and do our undoing of the absolute value. Again, split it into 2. So we have x plus 2 equals positive 17 because it could have been positive 17. Or we have x plus 2, and that could have equaled negative 17. Solve both these is the exact same way. You minus 2 from this one, and you minus 2 from that one. Okay, so then our answers, we would have x equals 15 or x equals negative 19. That right there is our answer. Okay, last problem here, all right, and that is the absolute value of negative 2x plus 7 equals negative 17. Now, what you're probably doing right away is you're probably doing this right here, right? We could split it up, and it could have been positive or it could have been negative, but here's the deal. This absolute value bar is alone. Can an absolute value ever equal a negative number? That is not possible, right? This right here, not possible. So this is no solution, all right? No solution. Just be careful with that, okay? A lot of times they'll try to trick you, all right? So again, here's just the brief synopsis, right? when you get an absolute value bar, you split up. It could have been positive. It could have been negative. 2 answers. Absolute value bars always have 2 answers. If it is not alone, you need to get it alone and then split it up. If it equals a negative number, it is no solution because absolute value bars can never be negative. Alrighty, I will catch you in the next one. Hopefully this helps. Always email me if you have questions.